indeed observed that convergence occur more often. Okay, and you have more or less 6 type of behavior in synchronous behavior, which are either some kind of coupon collector process. Well, okay. So it's you know that basically here everything is local. Okay, so you just need to update the right cells. So in the order doesn't matter. Okay, you just need to update the cell in order to reach a stable configuration. So it will take you logarithm time to update them. Okay, so here we had this behavior in synchronous, and here what we observe when you do asynchronous update is that you have some kind of random walks here. So here a configuration is a line, okay, and times goes up. Okay, so basically what you observe is that you have huge black and white, huge black region, and the border of the black regions here tends to collapse, and once they collide, the configuration is stable. They disappear, and the configuration turns out to be stable. So here you have a biased random walk that goes this way. Here you have a non-biased random walk, so they will collide very fast. Okay, so you get, this is the kind of behavior you observe. Here is the shift. Okay, so the shift, you shift the configuration to the left, and when you do it synchronously, you get these zebra patterns. Okay, the idea is very simple. It's that basically the borders just follows random walks. Okay, and when they collide, the information is lost. Okay, so you get these zebra things, and it's slower than this one because both borders are unbiased. Biased in the same direction. Here, both borders are unbiased. So, for instance, here you have an example of cellular automata which looks completely different from the synchronous one and the asynchronous one. So, here again, it's still polynomial, and here you've got an exponential one. So, as opposed to what everybody may think, it will converge to all white. So, what's the reason is basically black tends to expand, okay, but white cannot disappear. White region cannot disappear. So at the end, by chance, the white will win, and but it will take an exponential time. Okay, so again, here you have very different pictures. Here you have not so different pictures. It's just that it will never converge because black and white will never disappear. So it will move. Always for a very long time. So you get this kind of pictures here, where you get the different possible process that you may observe, and the kind of pictures you get, okay, and the time of the convergence. So initially, what was the motivation for looking for the convergence time? Initially, the question is, you know, simulations are not easy, especially with cellular automata. You're never sure that what you observe is really what's going on, because simulation requires a lot of time, and you don't have a lot of time. And also a lot of resources. You don't have a lot of randomness. You don't have enough randomness to do it. So it's always problematic to do simulation on cellular automata. And the question was, okay, assume, for instance, that, you know, is what we observed what's going on? That was really the main question. And for instance, for this one, we never observed convergence. Okay, and we would tend to assume that the density will remain high for the black. The configuration will remain black forever. And it turns out that no. Okay, so that's why we looked at the convergence time. Is what's the hope here? So remember that what we've said before is that basically, how long are we willing to wait is basically polynomial time. Okay, exponential time, clearly there is no reason, no possibility for us to wait that long. So basically we were trying to compute this convergence time in order to see for which automata we will be able to observe what's going on exactly, and for which we won't. Okay, and it turns out that except for this one, this family here, we were able to, simulations are reliable. Okay, but for this one, simulations are not. Okay, and it turns out that studying these parameters allows us to sort correctly the automata. It turns out that automata with the same convergence time turned out to be governed by the same kind of process. So it's a nice thing, because, for instance, this is a fairly accessible parameter. It's fairly easy to compute in some, at least in most of the cases. Okay, and this is nice, but this simple parameter, which is just the time to converge towards a stable configuration, helps classifying the automata. And this was a nice surprise. And because of that, we decided to try to export it to 2D, to see what's going on with 2D. So 2D gets messier, and here we will consider 2D cellular automata with two states, so white and black, okay, and 8 closest neighbors. Okay, you have an n by m toric configuration, and the kind of rule we will focus on, especially, is minority. Okay, so why minority? Is because you have a lot of rules. Okay, for instance, for one-dimensional cellular automata, you have only 256 cellular automata. Okay, with two states. Here you have much more. You have I don't know, 2 to V2 to V8 or something like that. So it's a huge number. Okay, so you cannot hope to try all of them, to simulate all of them. Okay, so you have to make choice. And we've run some simulations and observed some phenomena which seem to be common to many of the cellular automata. It turned out that minority seemed to be one of the interesting ones which were not trivial. With somehow some hope that studying this one would allow to understand everything. But this is really a huge issue, because even the simplest systems here, you are not able to explore all of them. Okay, so here there is a real problem. But here we will focus on minority. So minority, what's the idea here? Is that when you're updated, okay, you look at the number of cells in the same color as you, okay, and if it's higher than the half of your neighbors, then you switch your state. You switch to the state of with the lowest number of neighbors. Okay, so for instance, here I have 3 white neighbors, 4 black neighbors, so I will switch to white. Okay, I want to go to the minority states. You can imagine that, like sensors or cellular phones switching to the frequency where there are the least interferences. Okay, and basically what you want is that at some point the cellular phones stop switching. Okay, and reach some state where they minimize their interferences. Okay, so you imagine this kind of dynamical systems. You can also imagine antiferromagnetism. Okay, it's related directly to that, where the spins try to be disaligned with his neighbors. Okay, so in some case, some transitions are irreversible. That means, for instance, here now I am in minority state, and the next time I will be updated, I won't switch my state. And sometimes transition may be reversible. For instance, here I have 4 white neighbors, 4 black neighbors, but I'm black, so I will switch to white in order to go to the minority state. Okay, but next time I will be updated, I will switch again back to black. Okay, so this one is reversible. So let's look at 2-dimensional ones. So for instance, here is life. So life in synchronous regime. And now if we switch to a synchronous regime, the pictures change drastically. Okay, it's completely different. You see lines appears. Okay, it looks like some kind of maze. The density arises,